Hey folks, I just wanted to do a quick video on tires, tire pressure, and tire monitoring systems. The first thing you have to do is to get your weight on your axles. One way is with go over a cat scale, go to a truck stop and drive up on the cat scale, and it'll give you a weight for your steer axle, your drive axle, and if you have a tag axle, the same thing. But the problem with that is you don't know, maybe you have a whole bunch of tools on the right hand on the curb side of your coach, and you don't, you got a lot of light stuff, cleaner and soaps or whatever on the left side. So your right side's way heavier than the left side. So that's where you need to get a 4-corner weight, which cost about 50 bucks to have it done. We had ours done at an Escape East rally. And there's a few other places you can have it done, but that's what I know about. So cat scales, well, you can get it off your data plate for your max weight. It's, I guess, the first place to start. If you don't have a clue, look on your data plate and it'll tell you the max load for each axle, and then how much air to put into the tires to carry that max load. But you're gonna have a lot rougher, harder ride using those things, but that's better than just guessing. So then the next step would be the cat scales, where you get the weight on an axle, each axle, but you don't know if the right side or the left side, if they're totally balanced or not. And then the best way is the 4-corner weight. So here we had a 4-corner weight done at a rally we went to in Tucson, Arizona. As you can see, the left front 6,500 and the right front 6,650. My wife says that's because I'm a big lard ass and I'm way more than her. And when she drives the coach, so I'm over on the right hand side. And some magic thing, they weigh, you have 6 scales, one under your left front, your right front, if you have a tag axle, your 2 duals on the left drive axle, and the 2 duals on the right drive axle, your left tag and your right tag. So this one was 8,000, this side 8,000. Kind of, you want them balanced, that was good. And then 3,200 for our left tag and 3,500 for our right tag. So going with those numbers, I plugged in a quick little spreadsheet. For the steer axle, 13,150. For drive axle, 1,600. And then the tags, 6,700. Now you got to get your data plate. You can see here, you'll find this somewhere on your coach. Ours is behind it's on the wall, just behind and left of the driver's seat. So your gross vehicle weight rating for us is 44,600 pounds. The gross axle weight rating for the front axle, 14,600. Gross axle weight rating for the rear, that'd be our drive, that's 20,000. And then for the tag is 10,000. And then these first numbers are kilograms. So we plug those numbers into our spreadsheet. Front axle, 14,600. So we're okay there. We've got 13,150, so we're almost 1,500 pounds good. 20,000, and we're good there, and 10,000. And you can see that we're well under our maximum. We're at 35,800. We can go up to 44,600. So that being said, our weights are okay. Now that we check our tires to find out the inflation. So we start with the position left front. We got a Michelin 290. We have 295/80R 222.5s on all the tires. We have Michelin's on our steer tires, and we have Toyo on the rest. The Michelins are like 750 bucks a piece, and these Toyos are like 380 or something, under 400, I think. So, and they're a good tire. We had them on our last coach for 8 years. The whole time we had it, they were great. And we've had them on this coach for a couple of years. So anyway, load range H, and that's just kind of what it's built for, how much pressure, how much load it can take. It's, I think, about the best you can get, but that's what they recommend, H. So here's our weight for each tire. Oh, and the DOT age code, I'll go over that in a minute. To figure out the weight for each tire, you pull up, go to each manufacturer, like Michelin tire inflation chart, Michelin tire inflation chart, and, on the Google search, and it'll give it to you. 295 ADR 22.5 load range H. So you go down to single. If we was using them on our drive tires where we have duals, that's what that dual. But on our single, we have one tire on each side, total of 2 tires. For one tire, so the most weight, we have one tire with 6,500 pounds, one with 6,650. So we use the 6,650, go across. So 64.95 won't get it, so 67.70, that's the one we need. And it's recommended you take the one you need and go up one. Just the main, I think the mainest reason is in case you have a couple extra people in the coach, or you end up having more water, more food, more whatever, just to give you a little bit of a factor. So 7,040 pounds, the one that you would use. That means we need 105 pounds of pressure in our steer tires. The Toyo, when you pull the same thing, Toyo tire inflation chart on the internet, and it'll get them to you. You look down and find your tire size, 295 ADR 22.5. And so we're going to start out with our drive. Let's start out with our tag axle, the single. So our tag axle is the heaviest one, is 3,500 pounds. And the lowest this goes down to is anything up to 4,900. So we don't have to jump up or do anything. And that says 70 pounds. Because that's just not a lot of weight on the tag axle. So 70 pounds. Now, a little more complicated is the drive. That's where you use the dual rating here. And so on our drive, it's 8,000 pounds for each tire. There's 2 tires carrying that, so that's 4,000 pounds in each tire. And that's going to be pretty well balanced. So there's, on that axle, there's 4 total tires. All 4 of them have 4,000 pounds. 4 times 4,000 is 16,000 pounds total. So 4,000 pound dual, and we're at the same place, 4360. So theoretically we could do 70 pounds in our drive tires and 70 pounds in our tag. That's how you get your tire inflation. So we did the 4-corner weight when we were part-time RVing, and we just had what we needed in for our 2 or 3 week, or we took a couple of month trips. But we have since gone full-time. We're living full-time in our RV, so we have it packed quite a bit more. We have it packed 2,350 pounds more, to be exact. So we haven't done a 4-corner weight yet, so we can't be quite as accurate on our weights. But we did go to CAT scale, and you can get, there's a CAT scale app. You can pull up on the CAT scales and go inside and ask them how to do it, or you can go back and get your ticket. But with this app, you just type in, pull up the app, and it senses where you're at, and it says, are you going to this petrol truck stop on 4th and Interstate 80? And you say yeah. So then you pull up on there, it follows you on there, you push the button, really you don't push a button. You get up there, you get set, and on your app you push the button, say weigh me, and it'll weigh you all out. Then you pull off, and then it'll email you your weight ticket with all your weights. And here's what it looks like. When ours came back, we had, it showed our drive was at 1390. So 1390, divide that by 2, 6,970 pounds on our steer. It had our drive at 16,600, divide that by 4, so that's 4,150. And then this 12,360, I didn't get on the scale correctly, and I had my car on the same section as my tag axle. If I'd have maneuvered right, I could have got my car on the total separate axle, I think. But anyway, I know what the car weighs because we just had a boat that we had, and we went and had the car in the boat weighed at the cat scales, and my car is 4,700 pounds. So I subtract 47 from this 1260, and that left me 7660. Divide that by 2, it's 3830 on each axle. So here are those weights. Now then, your date code, they recommend, they start saying your tires age out after 7 years, 8 years, and a lot of stuff says up to 10 years if you inspect them regularly and keep an eye on them for blisters and just if they're airworthy. They recommend having a professional inspect them. But date codes, it's a real simple formula once you kind of understand what they're talking about. You'll find a DOT, and it's the numbers and letters, and then a 4-digit number. So like here on my steer tires has 3614. That means that those two tires are manufactured the 36th week of 2014. So 2014, here's each week. The 36th week would have been looks like the first week in July of 2014. My drive tires, 2 of them were manufactured my steer tires was 3614. So 3614 would be the second week of September in 2014 for my steer tires. My drive tires, 2 of them, the 2614, the 26th week of 2014, that'd be the first week of July, and then the 2 that were 4313, week 43 of 2013 would have been the last week in October of 2013, right here. And then these were the same week, my tag axles, tag tires, 4313. 43rd week of 2013 would have been last week in October. So that's how you get your date code and how you translate that into English. We got our date code, our tire pressure, weights, load range. Okay, I think that's it. Hopefully some of this helped you a little bit. We will talk about the tire pressure monitoring system and your air gauges. The regular, just standard truck stop tire gauge, and it's pretty good. This one here is electronic. It'll give you a digital readout. So you need to take your tire pressure.
So until the 24th, get $325 off every window and $865 off every patio door. For an appointment during our sale, call 832
109.9. And then with this one, so it's going to be, that's real close. 109 looks like. And then compare that to your transmitter.
Black Friday savings at Nissan. Lease the Rogue family.
So it says 111 for both front tires, and they're both at 110, so it's reading just about 1 pound high. In the car, you want to keep them all real close to the same. And it hadn't started picking up the right rear yet. Well, I hope some of that information was helpful to you. If you stuck around this long, you must have enjoyed part of it at least. It gets kind of confusing and it kind of runs on, and I apologize for that, but there's just a lot to cover. On the tire pressure monitoring system, you know, you've learned that you got to weigh your axle, see how much weight is on each tire, make sure it's under what it's certified for on the gross vehicle axle weight, that you stay under that. And then you look up for how much weight, how much air pressure. You can put in more air pressure as long as you don't go over the max that the manufacturer puts out. So it's better to have more air pressure than less, as long as you don't go over the max that's on your placard inside your car, RV. But don't do less. That's what they say tears up tires more than anything. You probably saw the little cracking on the Michelins. I read a number of places that Michelin's bad about that, the little surface cracks, that it's not a structural issue at all. It's just, they just do that. Our Toyos are older and they don't have those cracks. But it's just kind of part of Michelin. Next time I get a chance, I'm going to have somebody look at them just to make sure, but I'm pretty comfortable in those. The tire pressure monitoring system. The reason we went with the monitoring system we've got is because we're a 42-foot coach, and then our car is back behind it, and that's such a long way. Most, if not all, the other systems that I've seen has to have a relay in there to catch that signal and then send it all the way up to your monitor in the front of the coach. This one, put the name in the heading of the manufacturer. But it goes all the way, it picks up a good signal. Oh, and you can take the caps off and replace the batteries. Is another reason we went with this. Those little senders, there's a sender on each tire, and they're like $50 a pop. So we have 12, 3, 6, 8, 10. We have 12 tires on the ground. So that's $600 just in senders, and then the monitoring system. So I think it's $650 for the whole, under $700. So that's why we picked that one. The things I'm disappointed in it is it needs to have it has a quiet alarm. It's gone off on us a couple times, and one time we was having a flat, but it has a red light and then an alarm. That alarm needs to be louder. So when you get one, that's one issue, because you can drive for a while and it can turn on the red light, and Pearl will be driving, or I'm driving, the red light comes on, you may not see it for a while. Well, if it's on the coach and you have a flat, you're going to feel it. But on our big old coach pulling that little car, I don't know, but I think it might drag it for a while without we ever felt it. So we've got our rear view camera and then that tire pressure monitoring system. And the temperatures. We have auxiliary braking system on our Toad, and twice I've set it up wrong. Totally my fault, I'm guessing. It hadn't happened in over a year now, so I think I've got it figured out. But twice I've had the auxiliary brake partially engaged, and it has wore out my brake drums. Well, one time it put a groove in them, one time it wore them out and had to have it totally replaced. So but that's how I noticed it both times, is the tires were getting hot. Generally they run between 65 and 95 degrees, and on a hot day they go up to 110 or 15. I don't think, maybe 120. But I noticed it, I just looked over, but the temperature was at like 175. So we pulled over just to make sure, and sure enough they were too hot and the brakes were partially engaged. So it'll sense, you can set them up different parameters. If the temperature increases a certain percent, the red light and alarm will come on. If their air pressure decreases a certain amount, or if it goes up, it can go up from being a hot day, and if there's something wrong. But generally it's we're looking for increased temperatures, because the brakes, me personally, I'm worried about the brakes being on or setting, and that's a clue that something's wrong. Pull over and check. Or tire pressure going down. It's a great feature, great accessory, and I think you'll enjoy it. But more than anything is check your tire pressure, check them regularly. And our tire pressure monitoring system, some people have trouble with their tires leaking down when they add these sensors, but we don't see any loss of air pressure at all. And our gauge and our tire pressure monitoring system are virtually always within just a couple of pounds. So anyway, I hope you gained something from this. It's an important feature, is your tire and your air pressure. And we'll be doing some more videos. If you like this one, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, whatever. Not like I got a lot else to do, walk the dog and drink my wine and enjoy my day. So I enjoy making them. But if you like them, give me a thumbs up, or if you got a question, leave a comment, or if you see something, you know, I'm no expert in this. This is stuff I figured out myself from different internet forums and stuff I've read. So if I'm doing something wrong, let me know, because I want to do it right, because anything you do wrong eventually costs you money. So thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments, and subscribe. And have a good day, and keep the wheels a rolling. So long.